Hey guys, it's Libby. So you may have seen that like a month back or something like that, 2 months, I don't know. I posted a video called Helping Someone with an Eating Disorder Part 1. Initially, I made that video thinking that was going to be the only part of the video, but then as I was editing it, I realized there's a lot that I didn't say that I wanted to say. And so here I am with Part 2. So the first part was more like how to express your concerns to somebody with an eating disorder, how to educate yourself, stuff like that. So if you want to see that, I'll link that down in the descriptions. Also, if you want to see my eating disorder misconceptions video, that'll also be down in the description. But this video is going to be how to help someone with an eating disorder during a meal, like how you should act, what you should say, what you shouldn't say, stuff like that. So let's get started. I just want to say first off, this is just a basic guide. These things aren't true for everybody with an eating disorder because everybody is different, but it's kind of the basic guide that you can follow to be on the safe side. So the first thing I want to say is do not comment on their body. Don't say, oh my gosh, you look so skinny, or don't say, oh, you've gained some weight, or don't be like, wow, you look so healthy now. That is like so not helpful. You might think that saying you look healthy would make them happy, but saying you look healthy means you've gained weight. And they don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that you can tell that they've gained weight. That is not helpful. So please do not say you look healthy. Do not say you look fat or something, obviously. And do not say you look skinny, because none of those things are going to be helpful to a person with an eating disorder. So just don't even go there. Next thing I want to say related to that is don't say anything about your own body. Don't say, oh my gosh, I look so fat. Because then maybe they'll start comparing their body to your body and saying, well, if they think they're fat, then I must be fat too, or something. Or, you know, or don't say like, wow, I look so skinny, because then they'll look at themselves and be like, wow, I look like a fat pig today, or something, you know. So don't comment on anybody's body. The next thing I'm gonna say is do not talk weight. Do not ask them what they weigh. Do not guess what they weigh. Do not say what you weigh. Do not say what you want to weigh. Do not say what they should weigh. Do not talk weight. Again, that is not helpful at all. Don't say, oh my gosh, you look like you're 60 pounds. Do you think that's gonna help them? Do you think that's gonna help them at all? Like, really? Like, do you think that's beneficial? No. So do not talk weight, please. It's not helpful. The next thing you should not say is what you ate that day. It can be very triggering for a person with an eating disorder. Like if you say, oh my gosh, all I had was an orange for breakfast today, I'm so hungry, then they're gonna think, wow, but I ate bread and an orange today, I must be so fat. They ate like nothing, they ate less than me, I'm so fat. You know, so saying what you ate, especially if you ate nothing or ate barely anything or whatever, is just a hairy topic. Do not go there, because that person is automatically going to start comparing what they ate with what you ate. And even if they're not doing it consciously, it's happening in the back of their mind. So don't talk about what you ate or what they ate, because again, that's not very helpful. Related to that, please do not talk about your hunger cues. Like, don't say during a meal after you've had like 4 bites, don't be like, wow, I am stuffed. Because then if they're eating 4 bites and they still feel hungry, they're gonna be like, wow, I'm so fat. Or like, wow, I should stop eating too, you know? Don't talk about your hunger cues, because again, they're gonna start comparing themselves, and that's not what we want. That is not gonna help them, that's just gonna hurt them. Next thing is do not talk about food habits, yours or theirs. Don't say, wow, you eat your food in such small bites, or like, wow, you're eating so fast, oh my gosh, or like, you know, stuff like that. So don't comment on their like biting. Don't comment on the way they eat, like if they pick things up or if they use a knife or whatever. Don't comment on how fast they're eating or how slow they're eating. None of those comments, again, are gonna be helpful. They're just gonna make the situation weird. They're gonna make that person with an eating disorder feel uncomfortable, feel upset, feel weird, you know, whatever. Like, it's not helpful to talk about food behaviors, okay? Don't talk about yours and be like, wow, I take such small bites. Like, then that person can be like, wow, I don't take small bites, I must be a pig because they take small bites, you know? Like, it's not helpful. It's not helpful. So please do not say it. The next thing I want to say is do not talk about ingredients or foods in particular, okay? Saying like, oh my gosh, these mashed potatoes have so much butter in them. Chances are the person with the eating disorder is gonna be like, shit, like there's a bunch of butter in this, I shouldn't be eating this, you know? Or like, say you've got like a sandwich from Subway and you're like, wow, I didn't put any cheese on mine. Yeah, it's just vegetables or something. That person's gonna be like, wow, I put cheese on mine, I am so fat, you know? So please don't talk about food ingredients or preparation, but don't be like, wow, this was fried in so much oil. Like, that, not helpful. Once again, not helpful. This should be a given, but do not talk calories. Don't be like, wow, this piece of cake probably has 1,200 calories in it. It's probably my whole meal for the day. Or like, wow, like I've eaten only 100 calories today or whatever. Like, just don't talk calories. A lot of people with eating disorders focus on calories, obsess over calories. Don't bring it up. Do not bring it up. Not helpful. Once again, not helpful. Something I learned when I was in eating disorder treatment is do not yuck a yum. So don't like eat something, be like, well, I hate this. This is disgusting. Because the person with an eating disorder who ate it and liked it is then gonna think, what's wrong with me? Like, I ate it and I liked it. Like, I ate the whole thing or whatever. Like, they're gonna start feeling like there's something wrong with them if they liked it. And I can speak from personal experience on this. There's one time when I was at my old job, they would serve us lunch and I was eating this thing that I guess it's typically made for kids. Like, there were those little hot dogs that are rolled up in a crescent and like maybe have some cheese or chili on it or something. Like, just not really something that adults tend to eat very often. And my boss and a coworker were like, oh, that looks so gross. Like, oh my gosh, ew, ugh. And I was sitting there eating it and I was like, what is wrong with me? I like this. I thought it was really tasty and I was starving, so I fucking ate it. Like, it just made me feel really bad and uncomfortable and stuff. So I can tell from personal experience that yucking a yum makes the person feel weird because it made me feel really weird. So I know a lot of what I just talked about sounds like you've got to tiptoe around the person with an eating disorder. And you know, you kind of do. At mealtime, you kind of do have to be extra careful if you're with somebody who has an eating disorder. Because they're very vulnerable during a mealtime. No matter what eating disorder you have, mealtime is really stressful. It can be scary. It can be very upsetting. It can be anxiety inducing. Like, it's not a fun experience usually. It can be, certainly, but you know, there's often stress or something connected to it. So you, as somebody who's trying to help somebody with an eating disorder, you need to do all you can to support them through this meal. One way you can support people during a meal is by giving them encouragement. You don't want to go over the top with your encouragement because then it feels a little cheesy, it feels a little fake, and it just puts too much stress on the person. So just like a quick little, hey, you got this, like, that's enough. And like I said at the beginning, this video is applicable to some people, not all people. So while this might help some people with an eating disorder, it might not help other people. It might annoy the shit out of them or something, you know? So you can try this, you can try encouraging them, but it might not help, but it might. So you can ask the person if that would be helpful to them, or you can just try it, whatever. But just keep in mind that these are just tips. They're not true for everybody. Another thing you can do is eat with them, because a person with an eating disorder eating alone, that makes them feel fat. It makes them feel like alone. So if you eat with them, that can be really helpful. And I'm saying, like, say they're tasked with eating like a hamburger and then you pull out a salad. Like, that's not helpful. So just keep in mind what you're eating and what they're eating, you know, eat a burger with them, you know? So yeah. Another thing I want to talk about is meal processing. So I made a whole video dedicated to meal processing. It's what you do after a meal. So if you are with somebody who has an eating disorder and you're comfortable with them, you've got a close relationship, maybe they'd be willing to process their meal with you. And if you're interested in what meal processing is, I will link that down below in the description as well. It might not be very helpful the first time they do it because it'll feel like a new weird thing, but maybe encourage them to try it a few times, and then maybe they'll start to get in the groove of it, and maybe it'll become something helpful for them. So all of that said, those are all my tips for how to help someone with an eating disorder around mealtime. So check out all those videos that I linked down in the description. I think they're all very beneficial, helpful videos, so check them out. If you have any questions related to this topic, feel free to leave them down below. If you have any other video request ideas, feel free to leave that down below. Again, the focus of this channel is now mental health, but I'm willing to do other things besides sign language, so feel free to leave them requests down below in the comments. But all of that said, I hope this video is helpful, and I hope you have a wonderful day, night, week, weekend, whatever it is. So yeah, bye.